I spent the last 12 years working in ocean conservation, and I can't agree with you more. As a descendant of fishermen in my Hawaiian family in particular, you can imagine I was a very unpopular member of my family when I suggested to close off a huge portion of Hawaii's exclusive economic zone to commercial fishing. And it's because if we want to eat fish, we need to figure out solutions, and we need all sorts of designs for protecting our fisheries. And some of those come in the form of small, coastal, locally managed areas. Some of those come with changing how we look at what we catch, where we catch, how we catch. Some of it's large marine protected areas to look at whole systems so we can better understand how they relate. We need all these tools. But more than any of that, we have to remember that we are islanders. And in Hawaii, I'll admit, it's a very challenging thing when we are living in a society where you can easily be very terrestrial in orientation. And we have to remember that so that we can find those solutions where it's not protection versus fisheries. Island people love to eat fish. I want to have fish so we can eat them, not because we can just look at them. It's a critical issue in food security, and it's the perfect complement, in my view, to agriculture and food production. There may be wonderful aquaculture examples that can emerge, but to date, at least in Hawaii and in places, we haven't found that is as efficient, as economical, as how about just protecting them in the wild. So if we could make a direction of marrying food production on land with wild stock protection in the ocean, I think we could start to have a real conversation about not close this area and look at that, and then eat the heck and destroy this area. We need to find things that do something just a tad bit better. And as islanders, we have known this for decades and hundreds and thousands of years. So I think by coming together, we as islanders have the opportunity to come up with better examples drawing on the past. And we have then the challenge on our shoulders to show in today's world how that's still possible. But I have every belief that that is. Thank you.
Thank you, Alani. That was a perfect segue into what I wanted to say, because you know, part of what we're having to deal with, at least in Hawaii, and I'm not going to talk about that large economic zone in the Western Pacific fishery. That's a whole nother discussion. But in terms of our locally managed fisheries, we are having to overcome the colonization in Hawaii and the mindset that all of a sudden these fisheries are free domain and they're basically extractive resources that can be overexploited. And going back to that Ahupua'a model that we're using in Hawaii, which traditionally linked the land to the ocean, and the nearshore fishery was part of that management unit, we're trying to reenact that and giving communities, reinstating management authority within communities and decentralizing it from our government, which is out of touch with the resource, is critical to our future. And that's part of what we're doing in Hawaii. We've been able to legislate community managed nearshore fisheries. There's a lot at stake in whether they will be successful or not, but we're moving in that direction of re-engaging and reconnecting our people with the fact that their management of this resource will depend on whether their children have fish to eat.
Okay, thanks folks. I think we've got to wrap it up in the next couple of minutes. So just to finish off, I'd like to invite Willie just to make a few concluding remarks today before sending us on our way.
Thank you. Well, I feel that May has actually wrapped up our our discussions, because she did talk about each of the main points that came out of each of our talks. But on behalf of the group and the folks that have helped to organize, I would like to thank all of you for coming here. And we hope that this doesn't conclude our discussions, that this is an open discussion. Many of us are going to be here for another 7 to maybe 8 days. So you're welcome to catch us I think most of us are sitting at the protected the pavilion, protected, what is it, the planet pavilion. So you're welcome to talk to us. Again, thank you all, and we hope that this has been a productive workshop for you, and we really enjoyed talking to you and then answering some of your questions, also learning from some of the comments that have come. Kailangan, thank you, mahalo.
For all of you interested in seeing the next World Conservation Congress in Hawaii, we have some materials in the back there. Help yourself, stickers, buttons, flyers, and our reception. We have a cultural performance on Sunday evening, 7 o'clock. You won't want to miss it. It really shows our connection between the Aina and the people, between the land, the sea, and the people. So, mahalo. Nice job.